want us to pay attention and see how questions like this are answered. Now, I read the question. The diagram below represents a transverse electromagnetic wave traveling with speed 3.0 times 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. What is the frequency of the wave? See what the wave does. You see, each time the wave forms a hill, that is what we call crest. If it forms a valley, we call it trough. So if you check the number of hills we have here, 1, 2, 3. We have 3 hills and troughs, 1, 2, 3, 3 troughs. The length of the diagram formed by this wave is 0.3. And the question is frequency of the wave, where speed is given. Lambda is needed. By lambda, I mean the wavelength is needed. So we start by presenting the formula for frequency. So using now, this is the formula for frequency. The frequency of a wave is equal to the speed of the wave over wavelengths. Now, each of these terms will be given their values, that is, they will be quantified. From the question, you agree with me that the speed of the wave is 3.0 times 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. That is what the speed of the wave represents. Now, what about the wavelength? We understand that the wavelength is not being given from the question. Now, since we have the length of the diagram and we have 3 crests or numbers of crests, same as the trough, our duty is to divide this length by the number of crests. That is to say 0.3 to divide 3, since we have 3 crests. That is how to get your wavelength in any given diagram of this nature. You also agree with me that 0.3 divided by 3 will give us 0.1. That brings us to a conclusion that the wavelength is 0.1. Having gotten the wavelength and the speed of the wave, then we can substitute these values into the formula or the equation. If that is done, our frequency will be equal. Instead of the speed, we have 3.0 times 10 raised to power 8. Then instead of the wavelength, we have 0.1. Now, at this point, we can proceed to say that the frequency will be equal 3.0 times 10 raised to power 8 to divide. In standard form, since the numerator is in standard form, I should keep the denominator too in standard form. You agree with me that this one is the same thing as 1.0 times 10 raised to power minus 1. Do your research or go back to SS1 work, standard form. This is how to convert it. You just shift the decimal place and you have something of this nature. So now, at this point, you also agree with me that our frequency will be 3.0 to divide 1.0 multiplying 10 raised to power 8 to divide 10 raised to power minus 1. Now, at this point, we have frequency equal 3.0 divided by 1.0 is the same thing as 3.0 times 10 raised to power 8. In indices, where you have division is same thing as minus, but what you have here is minus 1. So there is another power that is negative there. So that our frequency at this point will be equal to 3.0 times 10 raised to power 8 plus 1, because minus times minus is plus. So that the final answer will be that frequency is 3.0 times 10 raised to power 9. Frequency is measured in hertz. So we have hertz here as the final answer. Let's check the options and see the one that best suits the solution. Of course, it is D. So those of you choosing A, B, C, you are wrong. D is the right option to this particular question. So D is the best option for it. Now you have to save this for future reference. You share for others to benefit, and you watch out for more.